Hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome. I am Ravi Gupta. I am editor-in-chief of a magazine called Digital Learning. And Digital Learning is a magazine focusing on innovations in the field of education for last 15 years. And we are the first and the only magazine in this country and in whole Asia to have been a 15-year-old monthly magazine focusing on ICT-based innovations in education month by month. And we also run a portal, digitallearning.eletsonline.com, and we organize several conferences in the field of education innovations. And today we are proud to have with us Amneet P. Kumar. She is an IS officer. She is Secretary, School Education and Director General of Haryana. So, welcome Amneet ji on this live webinar. We are live here on Zoom, and we are also live on the Facebook to our all the audience on the digital learning handle and World Education Summit handle of ILETS. It's a thousand, like at least a thousand people will be seeing you online. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And my apologies for joining in a little late because of some administrative work. I'm very happy to be here amongst all of you and to share on today's topic that, how quickly we have to change and how quickly the systems have to change in order to provide the best services to our citizens.
And before we start interaction with her, just to give you an idea about her background, that she has been in the IS for around 20 years in the IS fraternity, in the IS system. And she had her last assignment was as the mission director of National Health Mission, Haryana. And when the state was just as the best state as per the Niti Aayog parameters. And she was earlier in the Women and Child Development Department, Child Welfare Department, and also earlier in the Finance, Revenue, and Renewable Energy. And also she worked as Deputy Commissioner for nearly 5 years. And before that, she was ADC and CEO of Shivalik Development Board. So she has a wide range of experiences in her career, and she is right now in the school education department as a secretary. And Amit ji, please tell us that in the times of COVID-19, how has the school education got hampered and disrupted, and how did you handle this situation? Please.
Yeah, so the most important thing that happened after COVID was that as we all know, schools were shut and children could not come back to schools. The scenario number one was that how to keep them on the learning path. So in order to address that, firstly, we made sure that they had books. So we collected old books from all the students, and 8 lakh students of Haryana. So we just to set it in context, we have around 51 lakh students in Haryana. 27 lakh students study in the government system, and rest of the students study in private sector system. And we have around 8,000 plus schools in primary side, and we have around 4,000 plus schools on the secondary education side. So 8 lakh students have received old books from their peer group. So this is like an exchange of knowledge. So that knowledge book bank was created, and we made sure that at least the students have books back home. So if an 8th standard kid has gone to class 9, he or she has received books from the 9th standard peer students, so that cultivates a sense of belongingness and sense of continuity. And number 2, we made sure that they were given all services back at home also, like midday meal. So midday meal for all the students who received their midday meal up to the middle section, middle level, 8th standard, they were all given dry ration. The teachers went to their home specially to deliver the ration, and it was a very, very good effort, because the parents were then convinced that the government is taking care of them, and whatever services the children were being provided in the school, that will continue to be provided for them even if they are back home. Number 3, the most important and the most dynamic was that we created an e-learning platform for them. And Haryana was one of the few states, because we have a very old EduSat system which works on a hub and spoke model, in which there is a studio here at the headquarters, and there is a lot of content with us, educational content, and that is live streamed to students in the schools. Now, in a situation like this, when the students cannot come to schools, we thought of linking it with DTH. So by upscaling it via DTH and linking up with Doordarshan to provide Swayam Prabha channels. So now today we have all the classes, their content is available on most of the free to air and the cable TV also. So earlier the access was only up to Doordarshan, then we increased it to cable TV also. So more than 30 lakh students of our own setup, the government sector and the private sector, they all have access to all this content. Once a week, we release the weekly timetable that if class 8 has to cover 5 subjects, which are, covered, and these slots are repeated 3 times a day. So that if a child misses out the morning slot of 2 hours, he or she can follow up in the afternoon. And if somebody is missed in the afternoon, they can follow up in the evening also. So these 3 efforts were done. Fourth, because it needs a lot of mental care challenges and issues have also been brought in. So we started with a helpline, and a lot of students have been calling up, and that helpline is functional. And that helpline also, in a way, creates a platform for students to deal with this immense challenge that we are facing today of COVID. Yeah.
Amazing, and interesting initiative mentioned about. Please, like if you can elaborate that in this situation of lockdown, how difficult was it to supply the uh, meal, like you mentioned about the food at the houses of the children, and also supplying of books, like as you mentioned. So when the transport is unavailable, how difficult was it, and how did you handle this situation?
Yeah. The issue of the best part about government schools is that the teachers are very well connected at the village level. A lot of our schools are in the rural setup. So the teacher, in a way, interacts with the students and their parents on a very regular basis. So that connect already existed. And around March sometime, we had a mega parent-teacher meeting. That also set the tone, because that time that access was available, that window was available to us before COVID happened. Uh, so so that window period when we did that parent teacher meeting, it gave us access to all the parents. And after the COVID came in, we decided what was best for the child. So the first thing that came to our mind was that if I am a student and I'm back home and I have my books for the new class, whether their books are new or books are old, it doesn't matter, I will have curiosity, and that curiosity will lead to learning. Curiosity, is the mother of learning. So the child will have to go ahead and kind of find out that what is in my course content and how does it work. So in addition to the delivery of the books was also a challenge, because first we collected it from the old students, then we compiled them and sorted them class wise, student wise, and then we made sure that it was delivered to the kid after following all the social distancing norms and everything. The biggest challenge was that after that, creating a platform of teachers via WhatsApp and other mediums, so that whenever a child is reading something, studying something, if there is any doubt in his mind or a query, that query can be addressed properly, so that we can continue that relationship with the child, and the teacher is not left alone in one system and the child is not left alone in another system. Yeah. And similarly for midday meal, lot of budget, there were two parts to it. One was the budget which was sent online. A DBT was done for all the students studying in our schools. That included the cooking amount, because there is a certain amount which comes as dry ration from Government of India. That comes in kind, that wheat comes in. And there is second part of it which comes as cooking money. So that money was calculated, and we made sure that DBT was done in each and every child's Aadhaar based account, so that he or she has received the money which was used to be kept for the cooking of the meal. And the dry ration was then packed in small packets and weighed properly, and for each child then delivered back at home. So it was an exercise which was done at a very, very local level, because this kind of logistic planning happens only at the school level. It cannot be done from top down. A very detailed SOP was given to them, how to maintain social distance, how to make sure that the parents receive it properly. All that was followed, and we are happy to share that Haryana became one of the few states to deliver all the midday meal at doorstep. Number one. Number two, DBT, all the budget which was to be given to the students. Yeah.
Very interesting. This is a very interesting initiative. And you have talked about this EduSat program. The EduSat program has existed thanks to ISRO for a long time, I suppose. And how has been how was this initiative of EduSat was being used earlier before the COVID?
Rajiv ji, I just need a minute. Just give me
Sure,
1 minute.
Sure, no problem. So while our speaker joins in, we are just waiting here. I will inform all the people who are live here on this webinar that ILETS has been conducting these webinars since the lockdown happened, and every day we connect to some of the top innovators across the country, in the government, in the industry, in the education sector, the health sector, the banking sector, transportation, agriculture. So we are doing it, and our speaker is back here. Yes.
Yeah, Rajiv ji.
Yeah.
So, can you hear me?
Please. Yes. Please.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. So, I think the issue of EduSat. So, EduSat, like I briefed you, was launched way back around 10 years back in Haryana, and the basic purpose was to create a hub and spoke model via satellite. And there is a pre-prepared content for e-learning, and that content is aired through the satellite. And in every school, there are a TV setup and a classroom in which children sit and watch the programs. This is in supplementation to the already existing teacher learning program that goes on regularly to cover all the curriculum. So it adds on to your learning. This is number one. Number two, since now all the schools were closed, we cannot operate the old system. So we had to find a way to use that content and to leverage that platform. So the topic of leveraging that platform was very important. So that is what we exactly did. We leveraged that platform and we linked it with DTH, and we understood that our students do not have, many of them do not have access to other multimedia like YouTube, like maybe even data for use on Google platforms or other platforms. So TV was the only medium available which was probably accessible. So the issue of access was most important while considering the issue that how e-learning has to be initiated. So initiated is very important in this, because this was just the first step of our reaction towards COVID. So that platform was used, and that platform, DTH and Swayam Prabha, NCRT, we linked up with NCRT also to find out the good content available with them also. And all these things were coordinated, and now lakhs of students every day are receiving online lectures 3 times a day, and there is a repetitive program. So even if somebody has missed a class in the morning or afternoon, they can join in the evening. And this creates an equitable access. So and we get a very, very positive feedback from many of them that even earlier their children were just wasting a lot of time, and they were watching other programs on TV, and now they are happy that at least the e-content is available and they can look through it for 2 hours, 3 hours a day. Yeah.
Sure. So it's a interesting idea to use this content with the DD, and you also mentioned about the cable TV operators. So am I audible, Amnichi? No, we
Volume is less.
Acha, okay. Uh, am I audible now? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Yeah.
Okay. So please, it's an interesting idea to use the EduSat content on TV and cable TV operators. So how difficult was it to make it happen?
So I think a lot of credit goes to our additional Chief Secretary, Sir Dr. Mahavir Singh ji, and Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, because we got a lot of help from all the networks, and we were able to use their good offices to ensure that free-to-air channels are available with us, in addition to the Doordarshan channels which were already there with us. And we could also leverage the Swayam Prabha channel of Doordarshan, so which is already an educational content channel.
Sure.
So I think this was the first step we moved towards, and this has benefited children in the long run.
Okay. May I request you to switch on your video so that your audience can see you while you speak?
Yeah, so the volume is low.
अच्छा, it's like
वॉल्यूम थोड़ा कीजिए.
अच्छा, तो हमारी आवाज आपको हल्की आ रही है क्या?
हाँ.
Okay.
Then
So
I have to put it to my ear.
Oh, okay. Let me increase the volume. I'm sorry for this. Okay. Let me increase the volume. Okay. So am I audible now? Is it better a bit? कुछ improve हुआ क्या?
No.
Is it no? Okay.
Earlier it was good. Earlier initially when we started.
Acha, it was better in the beginning. Okay. Let me remove this. Just hold. Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do this without the handset again. Headset. So let me ask you about how was the feedback of the students? Have you got any feedback from parents, students, that how
Yes.
this impacted the children? If you have
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very good point, how it has impacted students. So initially when we started disseminating the programs, all the energy went into that. After 2 weeks, we realized that we have to find out how the children are learning, what the parents feel about it. So there were 2-3 things that we did. There is an organization called Pratham. They work with us, and they of Haryana, the platform, made calls. We have a call center here, so we made it a point that we would call parents and interact with them and find out where on a template. There were a series of questions which were asked from the parents, and we tried to understand that if there was any barrier in understanding, if there was any barrier in dissemination of information, how was the content, what was the quality of the content, how was the learning absorption capacity of children. So earlier we found that many parents felt that they did not know that whether the child is watching or not watching. So in the second round of calling, then they understood the parents also have to keep a watch on the child, that whether the child has gone through that content or not. One more important part was that now since we were disseminating from air to TV, suddenly what happened was that teacher was nowhere in picture. So we tried to bring the teacher back into the picture. The teacher was scot-free. He was sitting at home enjoying the quarantine and home isolation and whatever. So in order to bring the teachers back to the platform, WhatsApp groups for each class were created. And the teacher was supposed to call up the student. And in the evening, we started compiling what was the percentage of students who were watching the content. And every day in the evening, we would get a map of Haryana with red, blue, green zones, which showed not COVID, but for us, it showed how many students had actually seen our program. Mm-hmm. We are disseminating to air, but how many have actually watched it? So that feedback comes back to us. But we are more, and whatever feedback we get from various districts, sometimes you have to reprimand them, sometimes you have to motivate them, because the system is very new for everybody, both the user and the provider. So the challenge is that the user doesn't know how to utilize the e-content to fullest, and the provider, who are we also do not know how to monitor them properly. So the monitoring mechanism has to be set in place. But these two things, WhatsApp group, number one, call center manage what is the utilization. Platforms give us a feedback. Yes.
Excellent. It's excellent. Very interesting way of using the teachers' holiday, and you converted the teachers' holiday into work. And like, how was the response of the teachers? Did they cooperate enough, and did they took the initiative to actually contact the students and find out they are studying or not?
Yeah, I'm very happy to share that for Honorable Chief Minister's COVID fund, since our teachers constitute nearly 35% of the total employee strength of Haryana, they contributed nearly 50 crore rupees from their salary.
Wow.
For the COVID fund. Okay. And the teachers were also enthusiastic once they were back on board, that they were also given a sense of responsibility that they have to contribute and they were supposed to monitor. And now in this new phase, this was 2 weeks back, in the new phase, we have started sending them to each and every home also. Okay. So if I'm a teacher and my village is, in district Sirsa, it's my duty to cover all the students in this week. Once I will be going back to their homes, I will find out what they are doing, how they are doing, whether there are any doubts, whether they're able to manage their notebooks properly, whether they're able to see the content properly. Then I'll come back and give feedback on the WhatsApp group. So this is what we have done, and lots of teachers now are very enthusiastically following up with the students. Second part is, now since the new academic session is going to start shortly, we've started with online academic entry this time. So the entire process is online, and Haryana is probably one of the few states, or maybe I don't know if only the single state in India. Hello, yeah. We have 100%, we're trying for 100% online admissions for this academic year. So this is going to give us a head start in online and digitalization of the entire academic process.
Very interesting. Like, is this first time in this?
Hello.
Like, is it first in the country to happen? Like, to government school admissions to happen online? Is it the first in the country? Amrit ji? Amrit ji? Am I audible? Hello? Hello? I think connectivity issue is here. Let us try to connect with Amit Kumar ji again. Hello, Amit ji. Am I audible?
Break in the हाँ जी हाँ जी
हाँ जी
हाँ जी हाँ जी अब आ रही है
हाँ जी आवाज आ रही है आपको अमित जी हमारी
या can you hear
अमित जी आवाज आ रही है आपको हाँ जी yes yes I can hear you yes
जी
yes yes
हाँ जी हाँ जी आ रही है धीमी आ रही है जी
yes
जी जी
आ रही है अच्छा धीमी आ रही है अच्छा okay wanted to ask you that what is the role of IT right now in the school department? How are you using IT and leveraging IT? Hello, Amrit ji. Am I audible?
HRMS.
Your voice is breaking. If you can connect again, please. So we have been hearing about some interesting initiative like online admissions in a government school, which I don't think that many states are doing right now. And very interesting part of teachers visiting the homes of the children and meeting them and taking their feedback on the education. And I think we heard about usage of Doordarshan and cable TV in these situations, which is a very interesting initiative again. Uh, Let us see if she can connect again. Amrit Kumar. Just let me message her. And so I think this would be a very interesting case study where a state has used IT to the full potential and in the field of government school. And let us try to connect her again. Let me contact her. So as you can see that yes, hello. Okay, okay. So she is trying to connect here again. So as I was mentioning that just a second, let me have my earphone here. That we at IELTS are conducting these webinars and we are connecting with government officials all across the country and trying to understand how each of the department is using IT and also are trying to innovate in the times of COVID-19 and how they are trying to help the citizens in these challenging situations. So in last 1.5 months or 2 months, in fact, we have connected to more than 150 departments all across the country and trying to assess, try to document and see that what are the challenges each department is facing and how are they addressing these issues. And you can see all our past webinars on our website, ieltsonline.com. And I'm writing the web address on the chat. It's called webinar.ieltsonline.com. And this is a website on which you can see all our past webinars, also all the upcoming webinars. And I can tell you that each of these webinars is a great knowledge resource for anyone who is trying to understand about governance, anyone who is trying to understand about the health pandemic and how it impacts the functioning of the government and the impact on the citizen services. So this is a classic example of how here in this school department of Government of Haryana, the government has taken the initiative that the classes are provided on the TV channels, the Doordarshan, the cable TV, and also old textbooks being delivered to the students. That's also a very, very interesting initiative. And the other initiative about like teachers getting engaged in this whole activity of contacting the students and taking feedback on WhatsApp about the class daily. So it's a, I think, this shows the out of the box thinking of the department, that how innovative tools like WhatsApp, TV, cable TV were used along with the printed books in these situations. So while we are waiting here, let me just see that connectivity issues are getting addressed. Just let me contact our tech team here. Just a second. Our speaker is just joining the session, and till the connectivity issue is getting addressed, and we are going to play a video about IELTS in the meantime, so that our audience has an idea about IELTS also, and while our speaker is joining here. So IELTS is a 17-year-old organization which is working in the field of education, health, governance, and banking and finance sectors. And also we worked around 30 sectors overall, which are into higher education, skill development, preschools, to several other sectors.
विश्व में हमने युवाओं की आईटी एनर्जी के माध्यम से अपना रुतबा प्राप्त किया है, और भारत इसके बात के लिए गर्व कर सकता है। दुनिया में हम आँख में आँख मिला करके बात कर सकते हैं। और ये मेरा साथ मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ, आईटी प्लस आईटी इज इक्वल टू आईटी। इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी प्लस इंडियन टैलेंट इज इक्वल टू इंडिया टुमारो।
So we saw about the ILET's work, and our speaker is trying to connect to the connectivity issue. Let's hope. Yes, she's here. So Amit ji.
Yes, yes. Am I connected?
Yes, yes, yes.
Good,
Very much.
good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, great to have you back here.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining. Can you rotate your camera like the phone?
Okay.
Just rotate your phone. Yes.
Yeah. Is
Yes.
this better?
Yes, yes. Bigger, better. Fantastic.
जी बताइए.
Yes. So, Amit ji, you were mentioning about usage of IT in your department. If you
जी.
talk about it, yes.
So at the school level, number one, there is online admission system. So initially this was for the junior sections, now for senior sections also. So this creates an ID for all the students, and when the student enrolls with us, we are able to take his various data. So we have a very robust data management system which captures around 40 to 50 fields for each student, which includes the Aadhaar card and everything. For example, the entire scholarship that is paid to all the SC and the BC students is done via DBT. And this platform we leverage to use and transfer the funds for midday meal also, like I told you, in situation of COVID. For example, the scheme of giving bicycles to students who come from far away, that also we do by DBT. So in a way, all this IT and the creation of these wide platforms has helped us in having a wide and robust database and directly provide the service to the student, the fact where the student is located or situated. Secondly, now we also are planning to start a health portal, which will be exclusively for students and which will have a lot of IEC material with reference to menstrual hygiene for adolescent girls, mental health issues for children, ragging, issues of peer pressure, and all these issues. So in a way, these platforms which we create are going to be long-term platforms, and they will help us in not just identifying students database, but also expedite the delivery of services. So transparency and delivery of services to the doorstep of the students, this is one of the key aspects of IT in Haryana.
Okay, excellent. So you have talked about transparency and delivery of services for using like in the use of IT. And
Yes.
if you talk about how do you measure the quality of education in the schools? Like, are there any survey? Are there any tools to handle that?
Yeah. So very good point. Quality of service provided, because the target group is such that they come from they are young children, and they themselves cannot assess how much of quality of education they have received. But as we know, there are national and international benchmarks. So Haryana also uses these benchmarks. For example, Niti Aayog has created a beautiful framework which gives us a very robust picture of the state. It has various points with reference to infrastructure availability, access, equity, issues of enrollment, both the net enrollment ratio, the gross enrollment ratio, whether girls are able to access schools or not, whether there are schools with adequate furniture or not. So it addresses both infrastructural issues and the learning part also. It also assesses how much of learning has happened, whether the child is able to read up to a certain standard, or what are the mathematical skills. So according to those surveys also, Haryana ranks around somewhere around the middle of that framework. So we have a lot of progress to be made, because as you know, that education is an evolving process, and it needs huge levels of commitment and manpower who needs to be cutting edge, because the content needs to be very, very robust now, as children are finding different ways to enthuse themselves back at home also. So the challenge always persists by NCRT also we use in order to understand what are our gaps. And after assessing those gaps, then we do address those gaps in a fashion that, for example, we conducted tests for all of our students to find out very, very meritorious students. And I'm happy to share with you that we created 2 batches in tie-up with IIT Illuminus. And those 2 batches, the first round of JEE this year, around more than 28 of our students have qualified the first round. So this is very heartening for us. In addition to the NTSC and the other meritorious examinations, both for JEE and NEET, our students are preparing for that also. So this shows the kind of commitment to learning both from the student side and from teacher's side.
Sure.
Yeah.
And if you look at case studies of several states, there are cases of school teachers being absent in government schools. So how is this issue getting addressed in your state?
So Haryana predominantly has already covered all the schools with the ABS biometric attendance system, and the entire record of the teacher is integrated with that, number 1. Number 2, we have very active SMS, which is the educational committees at the school level. So the committee comprises of the sarpanch, the committee comprises of a few parents whose children are studying in the school. So it's in fact a social audit which is being conducted in that manner. So absenteeism of teachers is not that grave a situation in Haryana to a large extent, because we have a good network of roads and easily accessible, transportation is also available to a large extent. So absence of teachers is not an issue. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And there is also an issue of students being absent, like due to various reasons, students don't attend the schools regularly because of
yes.
or other issues. So how do you address that issue?
Yeah, Rajivji, this is a very valid point you said. Students do not attend school regularly. So number 1, like I told you, we held a mega PTM. So PTM in a way provides a platform where the parent actually knows whether the student has been coming to school or has been absenting himself or herself. Number 2, like in the harvest season, a lot of students are enrolled in harvesting the crops also, because generally the entire family or the household goes for that work. So this time we started a whole abhiyan saying that the students should not be sent for all these works and they should be solely confined to study or academic work only. But in reality, we might try it, but it's a very difficult task, because at the rural level and the kind of social background that our students come from, it is a huge challenge for parents to retain the students back in the classroom for many, many years without letting them do any other work. Like my interaction in the urban areas also, I find that many students who come to our schools, they work as waiters at night time, they work as domestic help at night time. So it's sometimes very painful to see that, but it's heartening to see that they are very committed towards their work also, and they are back in school in the morning while they work in the evenings.
And very interesting. And I want to also ask you about the private schools. There is a big debate going on across the country on whether private schools should ask for fees or not in the lockdown period. So is there any discussion in the Haryana on this issue?
Yes. Yeah, we have already issued guidelines for that on pattern of Uttar Pradesh, Punjab and our other counterparts. So we have asked the private schools to give a soft hand to the parents, and they are allowed to pay the 3 monthly figure in on a monthly basis. And we've requested the schools not to increase any fees this year. Plus, we've also asked them not to levy any additional charges like development charges or extra books or changing the uniform or transportation fees. So we've already taken care of that component, and we have a very robust grievance redressal mechanism in this also. And whichever parent feels that he or she has not received adequate attention from school, or the private school has been asking for too much of fund from them, then they can represent to the competent authority, which is the divisional commissioner in our case. So the divisional commissioner of each range, they are competent authorities, and they will listen to the issues and they will resolve the issues.
And there are various campaigns by private school owners across the country. They have a feeling that their importance, like their role in the education sector, since a lot of students in states, various states, I think in Haryana also, study in the private schools. But the private school owners have a feeling that they are spending so much on buildings, on lands, and their infrastructure, and their facilities, and they should be allowed to have some freedom regarding the fees, and which are not generally allowed to be increased, like in any year, including the even before the COVID. There is a feeling of mistrust between the parent and the school owners. So, does the government see the role of private schools in imparting school education?
So I think there is a very good balance of private and government sector in Haryana, and while they have a lot more, they have more students than we do in our setup. Because parents are generally, leaning towards providing private school education to their children, but still the relevance of government sector always remains, because we provide education to very far-flung areas and where access and equity are both the issues. I think, like I just told you, the grievance redressal mechanism at the divisional commissioner level, which is a very, very robust mechanism we have already provided, and any parent who feels aggrieved by the raise in fees or the developmental charges, they can go there. Plus, every year we request the schools to fill up a Form 6 private schools. So this Form 6 also every year gives us an idea that whether the school fees has been enhanced disproportionately or whatever. So in a way, we have to be watchful of the interest of schools also, and the parents also. So we try to create a very balanced view of the needs of the school to increase their own resources, because we expect them to provide smart classrooms, we expect them to provide high level of learning and coaches and everything. And on the other hand, we have to take care of the parents also, so that they feel justified in paying for the child's education in a manner where they don't feel that they are being fleeced. Yeah, thank you.
There are some questions from the audience which have people have asked, so I will ask some of the questions here. There is a question on what are the challenges in training the faculty and teachers for the new normal of teaching from home.
Yeah, so the new normal of teaching from home, like I just told you earlier, the connection was only between the transmitter, which was Doordarshan, and the student. The teacher was absent. So now we've created the WhatsApp platform. Because and the teacher relationship is the most sacred, and that we should not forget, and we should not skip that part. Because we might do any amount of e-learning, any amount of digitalization of the academic work, but the actual monitoring and the quality inputs have to be provided by the teacher. So these challenges do exist, but we have to kind of find our way through it as the time goes by. Yeah, I do not have a very clear-cut answer for this right away, because the teachers are facing the challenge, but I think everybody is rising up to the challenge. They also feel that yes, it is a challenge. We have to learn. Zoom platform पे आधा घंटा लग रहा है, कोई mute कर रहा है, कोई unmute कर रहा है, कोई mute कर रहा है, oh चल रहा है. But then everybody's learned to how to come to the Zoom platform and work on it. Everybody's learned to how to operate through VC, not keep the meetings very short and very sweet and very effective. So these are all things that all of us have to quickly learn, so that the systems are built in such a manner that the students benefit the most. Yes.
Sure. There is another question that when do you see children back in school, and what is the plan to make them study at home? कब तक बच्चे स्कूल में वापस आएंगे, ये पूछा जा रहा है.
So I think left to me, being a mom of 2 kids, I would be happy that tomorrow the schools should start and they should go to school rather than being back home. But I think we are all following very strictly the guidelines issued by Ministry of Home Affairs, and we all have to. So current situation is that the administrative staff we have allowed in schools as per Chief Secretary's guidelines. So 50% of administrative staff has come back to school. So there is some life in schools. We are cleaning up and everything. And we've held a few discussions with our Honorable Education Minister and Honorable Chief Minister Sir also. And everybody wants that we should get back to normal as soon as possible in the given scenario without having, to work, in fact, while maintaining the social distancing. So whenever anything happens, whenever we reopen the schools, it's going to be a new game altogether. We will have to sanitize, we will have to follow protocols, we will have to tone down, stagger the classes, we will have to tone down our learning hours. The academic work will have to be channelized back home. A lot of it has to be sent back home. So it will take some time, but hopefully it should come through. CBSE has already released an alternative academic calendar, which ensures that the students get around 1,000 hours of instruction. So in an academic calendar, every year we try to impart 1,000 hours of instructional classroom study to the students. So maybe if we have to eat into a few of the winter holidays, we will have to do that. Few of the Saturdays we'll have to work extra. But once the schools are open, I'm hopeful we'll get back on the feet very soon. Yes.
Excellent. And there is a question on that. How far do you think that strategy of roping in of the cable operators to impart classes will help?
No, so the cable operator is only transmitting the content which is approved by CBSE and prepared by CBSE, NCRT, sorry. So the cable TV, it's the operator himself has no role to play. He has just given us a slot so that the students who do not have access to Doordarshan, they are also able to see the cable via cable TV. So the cable TV wala does not add on or delete anything from that.
Okay, sure. And please talk about the new normal in the schools. How will we maintain social distancing and safety from COVID?
Very good question, because children, as you know, they are our future, and they are a very, very core group, and once they come for learning, they will go back home, so we cannot make them carriers. So we are drawing up a SOP. We've already shared a draft with the NCRT also. I have held a discussion with them. Ministry of Human Resources has already created a technical committee which is looking into this SOP, and hopefully very soon some kind of a protocol will be devised where, while following the social distancing norms, the students will be encouraged to come back to school in a staggered fashion. Please note, staggered fashion, staggered manner, so that we are able to follow all the protocols well in place, sanitize the stations, sanitize the school properly, and ensure that our students are safe and healthy, and also are able to get their learning. Yes.
Okay, great. So we have almost finished all the questions. So in the end, Amit ji, I think we
I can hear you. Yeah.
But we lost your video. Like, if you can switch on for a minute.
Yeah. 1 minute. There is some connectivity issue. Just
end it here.
1 minute.
So, Amit ji, we at IELTS are trying to connect to various departments and officers across the country in these COVID situation, and trying to understand that how each department is handling the challenges. So, any suggestions and inputs for our team at IELTS? We have reached out to more.
So I think you are doing a very good. You're doing very good work, because shifting from the physical platform to the e-platform is not just difficult, but it needs a lot of energy to bring people in and coordinate on one single platform. I wish you all the success, and I wish that you create a platform where both private school owners and government school people can all
Sure.
sit
So, yeah.
together and think more about providing quality education for students. Thank you. Jai Hind.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद अमनीत जी. Thank you so much, and thanks for joining with us in spite of your busy schedule. And thanks to all the audience who have joined us live on Zoom and Facebook. And if you have liked this interaction, please like and share this video and let this great work of the Haryana School Education Department spread to a lot more states and a lot more cities. So with this, we close this webinar here. Thank you and namaskar. Namaskar Amnit ji, and namaskar all the audience. Thank you.